Hi everyone, thank you for coming to my presentation. My name is Takako Inada. I'm working at Japan University of Health Sciences. Today, I'd like to talk about the potential of a student-centered AI-based language learning system. I'd like to explain about literature review. First, literature review about students' feeling in communicative EFL classrooms. Riva said, foreign language classroom anxiety is a major problem for Japanese learners, as they have poor communication skills because of the EFL environment. They do not need to use English in their daily lives. Most of them only use English in classrooms. He found less anxious students can learn the target language more easily, and low anxiety can increase motivation and self-confidence. Najobi proposed teachers needed to identify various ways to encourage students to practice speaking enjoyably for developing their motivation when learning a target language. Saito et al. Found if students enjoy their classes more, their motivation and self-confidence will increase, their anxiety will decrease, and their target language proficiency will thus increase. McIntyre et al. Also found the similar things. When students enjoy the experience of learning a target language, their self-confidence, motivation, their target language proficiency increased as a result. Jordan and Gray propose that teachers should create a student-centered environment and increase student motivation through searching for information extensively by themselves, thinking profoundly, and deepening their knowledge. And Van Badenberg et al. Found that self-confidence is an important factor in improved English skills. Literature review about zone of proximal development proposed by Vygotsky. Many researchers follow this theory. Students need to do. Donier says students help each other more. Ando and Dicamilla said students need to solve problems through collaboration between classmates. And Murphy et al. Said students need to exchange ideas reciprocally to increase group-framed motivation. On the other hand, teachers need to do. Well said, teachers need to expand new learning possibilities regardless of their knowledge, and teachers need to create the kind of interaction needed for learning. And Crawford et al. Said, teachers need to increase peer interaction. Thomas and Rowe said, teachers need to utilize a transformational process where other learners can play an important role. The benefits of the use of artificial intelligence or language learning. First of all, machine translation. AI-driven machine translation, such as Google Translate and DeepL, has played a pivotal role in language learning. They provide learners with more accurate and natural translation and support the development of reading and writing skills. They also increase learner autonomy as they help self-study. Second, hybrid learning environment. The use of AI has accelerated the adaptation of online and blended learning, creating innovative hybrid models, face-to-face and online language learning experiences. Third, Long-term impact of AI on language learning. There are reports of AI-based language methods lowering learner anxiety and increasing motivation, retention, and proficiency levels. A research question. Research question number 1. What emotional and psychological factors could be associated with student achievement? In this case, higher TOEIC IB scores in student-centered communicative English classroom at a Japanese university. Research question number 2. Why did students with more enjoyed, motivated, and confident in a student-centered communicative English classrooms at a Japanese university have higher TOEIC IB scores? Ethical consideration. This study was conducted after approval was obtained from the ethics committee of a university in Japan. Written informed consent was received from all participants. Participants were informed that their anonymity was guaranteed, and they were able to ask questions about the questionnaire and to withdraw from it at any time. Participant. 108 freshmen at a Japanese university participated in this study. They were racially homogeneous, 68 Japanese males and 40 Japanese females. Their native language is Japanese and English is their second language. The student age were 80 to 20 years old. Mean was 90 years old. About age distribution, 21 students were 80 years old, 65 students were 90 years old, 22 students were 20 years old. Setting. The target class is a required English class for freshmen. It contains communicative skill, writing and reading. The Japanese researcher, a bilingual Japanese and English instructor, taught 4 classes in English. The textbook, lesson plan, homework, and test were the same in all 4 classes. It is a student-centered language learning system, including pair work and group work. Students could use AI when doing homework and activity in class. The school have an English-only policy, so both teachers and students are not allowed to use Japanese language. It is 100 minutes class, so teacher finish 1 unit per week. A textbook contains vocabulary, reading comprehension, and instruction on how to write essays. So before the class, students need to read an article about 100 words, complete the vocabulary exercise and comprehension question, and answer additional reading comprehension questions. During the lesson, in order to practice speaking, in group, students check the answer and discuss why they choose the answers. In the entire class, we have open discussion of the answer. The requirement for students is they need to write an in-class essay report on the last day. The purpose is to write a proper essay based on what they have learned. Also, students need to take an IP TOEIC. A week after, the purpose is to measure each student English proficiency. Research design, a questionnaire, a quantitative study. So, quantitative study, questionnaire include background information. There are 5 items such as ID number, gender, age, nationality, language, student understand, L1 to L3. And also a 5-point Likert scale item included. 8 items of foreign language classroom enjoyment, 8 items of foreign language classroom anxiety, 6 items of motivation, 4 items of self-confidence. The range was strongly agree is 5 points, agree is 4 points, neither agree nor disagree is 3 points, disagree is 2 points, and strongly disagree is 1 point. Higher total score means higher level of each category. The wording of 4 items, respectively on foreign language classroom enjoyment and foreign language classroom anxiety, were reversed in order to prevent the aim of the research from being detected by participants. However, the reversed 8 items were adjusted for data analysis. The questionnaire were distributed within a class time after the 7th lesson of the semester. Students completed it in class within about 10 minutes to maximize the response rate. About analysis, I used a multiple linear regression and I put the dependent variable as student TOEIC IP score and the potential independent variable were the level of enjoyment, anxiety, motivation, and self-confidence. I used the SPSS statistical package advanced version 23 and then I set the significance level p-value less than 0.05. Result about validity of the Likert scale. I used the chronobuffer alpha, so the result was like this. It means each score shows high validity. Descriptive statistics of the participant. Please look at the TOEIC IP score. Maximum is 870 and minimum is 125. So the huge gap between the highest level of student and the lowest level of student score. Mean value is 420. About the enjoyment, mean value is 37 out of 40. So most of the students enjoy the lesson. And about anxiety, mean value was 26 out of 40. So student anxiety level is a little bit high. About the motivation, mean score is 12 out of 30. So the student don't have much motivation. However, mean score of self-confidence is 17 out of 20. So they have high self-confidence. The result of the multiple linear regression analysis. F value was like this, and also the overall regression equation was like that. So this mean is high TOEIC IP score were significantly related to the level of motivation, self-confidence, and enjoyment. I checked Cook's statistics. There were no cases where the absolute value exceeded 3. So there were no outliers. So this is the result of multiple linear regression analysis. Please look at the significance value. So self-confidence and motivation were very, very significant. And then enjoyment were significant, but weak significance. However, about anxiety were not significant at all. Discussion of the quantitative study. The students who attained high TOEIC IP score were motivated, had self-confidence, and enjoyed their lessons. An environment where students could learn together with their classmates through pair and group work using AI may increase enjoyment. Also, sharing opinion, idea with classmates and knowing others' opinion may stimulate each other in a positive way and may increase motivation and self-confidence. Research design. It is an essay report, qualitative survey. The teacher provided a step-by-step explanation of how to write an essay, for example, introduction, body, and conclusion in a classroom. The student completed the assignment at home, were paired in the next class, and fixed their mistake in consultation with each other for the writing practice. On the final day, students need to write a 30 minutes in-class essay. Students wrote about their opinion about the student-centered lessons they had experienced. That's the topic of the essay writing. Then teacher emphasized the importance of logical and persuasive essay regardless of the pros and cons. Method: analysis of an essay report. I summarize and categorize to make the data anonymous. Also, I analyze using the QSR NVivo12 qualitative software. Category for coding were autonomy, zone of proximal development, proficiency development, motivation, and individual differences. The average TOEIC IP score were calculated for each category. The order of each category of opinion were ranked according to the higher average TOEIC IP score. The result of the student essay report. Category is like this: autonomy, zone of proximal development, proficiency development, motivation, and individual differences. And then number is a student number who says this opinion. And then score is a TOEIC IP score. This is average TOEIC IP score of the student who says this opinion. Result of student-centered language learning system using AI. Those are all student opinion. First one is autonomy. Students said they can search for information extensively, think profoundly, deepen their knowledge and comprehension, and there was no wrong answer in the classroom, so they can cultivate their creativity. About zone of proximal development, student says they enjoy lesson more because they can share opinion and idea with classmates, and knowing others' opinion that broadens the perspective and stimulate each other. Also, students can increase a sense of unity. That is a very comfortable atmosphere in class naturally. Also, students have less psychological pressure when speaking in English. It is easy to pose questions to other classmates or a teacher. Also, students discover their mistake by themselves or less concerned about errors. About proficiency development, students say that students can extend the 4 skills of English at the same time because they need to do a lot of speaking practice through pair and group work that improved their speaking ability. So, after all, their success in second language acquisition. About motivation, there were no single correct answer, so they can increase their motivation. And also they need to do many activities, so they cannot fall asleep in class, not being bored, and they need to concentrate on lessons. Also, students increase attendance in class. About individual differences, unmotivated student demotivate motivated student. Unmotivated students engage in pair and group work in Japanese, not English. So it is a counteracts the purpose of speaking English. Also, unmotivated students discuss unrelated topics, so that those behavior makes the entire class noisy, and also the amount of time wasted. Also, unmotivated students didn't prepare for the lesson, so they cannot catch up with the lessons. Discussion. Generally, students are in favor of classes that emphasize speaking practice. It is because students studied vocabulary, grammar, reading comprehension, and listening comprehension, little writing and little speaking before entering college. So, students prefer emphasize speaking practice and student-centered classroom as a college student. The student with a high TOEIC IP score especially prefer student-centered language learning system because they believe the ability to speak is useful when traveling abroad or looking for a job after graduation. And also, developing autonomy, motivation, and enjoyment in classes could improve second language acquisition. Sharing ideas with classmates through peer and group work broadens their viewpoint, provide intellectual stimulation, and create a comfortable environment for each other. They need to do a lot of activity in class, so they need to concentrate on lessons and increase class attendance. Benefit of student-centered language learning system using AI. First, active engagement. Students become actively involved in their language learning process. They take ownership of their language learning journey, which increases motivation and participation. Second, collaboration. Student-centered approaches often involve collaborative activity and peer and group work. This promotes peer-to-peer learning, communication skills, and teamwork, and makes students feel more enjoyable in lesson. 3. Improved communication skill. A lot of speaking practice through peer and group work can lead the student to improve speaking ability and extend for skills of English at the same time. 4. Increased autonomy. By giving students more control over their learning system, they develop autonomy and independence. In their language acquisition process, searching for information widely and thinking deeply on their own is a valuable skill. 5th, increased confidence. Being actively involved in their learning and successfully communicating in English boosts student confidence in their language abilities. 6th, increased creativity. Students can cultivate their creativity as they navigate language tasks and activities. This strengthens their cognitive skills and deepens their knowledge. 7th, decreased anxiety. Students become less concerned about errors, less psychological pressure, and not afraid of speaking English in class. Implications. Autonomy and independence development. By fostering autonomy, students can become more independent learners, capable of seeking information extensively, thinking profoundly, and deepening their knowledge and comprehension. Allowing for creativity in lessons without the fear of wrong answers, cultivate a conducive environment for students to explore and express themselves freely. So, proximal development. Encouraging interaction and sharing of opinion among classmates can broaden perspective and stimulate intellectual growth through collaboration. This fosters a sense of unity and creates a comfortable atmosphere in the classroom, reducing psychological pressure and facilitating easier communication in English. Proficiency development. Engaging students in activity that integrate whole skill of English simultaneously, particularly through speaking practice in pair and group work, enhance their proficiency in the language. Success in second language acquisition is more likely when students are actively involved in meaningful language use. Motivation. Providing activity with no single correct answer and offering a variety of engaging tasks help maintain student interest and concentration in lessons, ultimately increasing attendance. However, the presence of unmotivated students can potentially demotivate others, highlighting the importance of addressing individual differences and maintaining a balance in classroom dynamics. Individual differences. Recognizing and creating individual differences is crucial in creating an inclusive learning environment. While pair and group work can enhance speaking practice, using student native language, that is Japanese, or discussing unrelated topics may disrupt the English learning process and lead to noise and wasted time. Additionally, the lack of preparation can hinder student ability to keep up with lessons and negatively impact their learning outcomes. Limitations. 1. It is a small sample size research, so the result is vulnerable to statistical choice. I need to increase participants. Second, the participants were all Japanese college students, so I need to perform replication study in other EFL classrooms around the world. Third, students' English proficiency level were from beginner to intermediate, so I need to research students of various levels such as advanced level, intermediate level, and or basic levels. 4. I didn't create a control group, so only guess can be done about what would have happened to the group. In a future study, I need to make a control group, so the finding may not be generalizable to other EFL contexts. Conclusions. In a context such as AI-based student-centered classes with a lot of pair and group work, student high motivation, confidence, and enjoyment were key factors for the ultimate attainment of higher English proficiency. Students who prefer the student-centered language learning system using AI were independent, enjoyed studying English in pair and group work with their classmates, and had high English proficiency and high motivation. However, there were individual differences in the desired learning style so that it is difficult to tailor lessons for all students. The motivated student may gradually be stimulated by motivated student and change for the better. Some advice was suggested on what teacher can do to create a constructive learning environment. This is a references. This is appendix, a paper-based questionnaire. Thank you very much for your attention.